I'm riding bicycle machine. I have 30 minutes to go. My laptop is attached to that machine. So why not to save a couple people who I believe have very high blood pressure. I'm not sure about that. I hope I'm wrong. And I apologize if I'm wrong ahead. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna tell you instructions for all people with high blood pressure, and this is your chance to get back to normal pressure. I'm not a doctor, so consider it like for for entertainment purposes. If you decide to use my instructions, you have to talk to your physician first. That was disclaimer. And when you talk to physician, just ask your physician how about his blood pressure, because I talked to two cardiologists, and it seemed to me that nobody knows more about keeping heart in perfect condition. And I asked two cardiologists about their blood pressure, and one of them was a surgeon. And he said his blood pressure was 160 or 165. So the guy had no idea how to eat right and how to keep his heart in good condition. And another one was not a surgeon. He was just cardiologist talking to people. So I asked him about his blood pressure, and he said, my blood pressure is better now because since I had stents installed in my arteries, I started watching my diet. I was laughing inside. I did not show him how funny that was to me. Anyway, uh, in 2010, I diagnosed high blood pressure. I had 135. I did not go to doctors. So I created my own system to get blood pressure to normal. I did it for me. I was not going to help anybody else. Uh, but why not to help people? It's a good idea. So there are 5 factors of high blood pressure, only 5. I'm gonna name them, and if somebody tells you something else about the reason for high blood pressure, they're just wrong, okay? So here you go. Factor number 1 is meat and poultry, saturated fat from warm-blooded animals. Do not eat pork, beef, chicken, turkey, butter. Don't drink milk. Don't eat cottage cheese except fat-free cottage cheese. Fat-free cottage cheese is great food, so eat it every day if you want, with fructose. The reason the meat has building material for plaque in your arteries. So if you eat meat, you just provide that material, and that's what's happening. Very simple. You eliminate material for building plaque in your arteries, and it will stop growing there. Instead of meat, best source of protein would be whey protein powder, 100 grams at least. 200 grams a day would be better. And another source would be fish. Fish is about 10 times less harmful than meat. So there is a funny idea lots of men have that If they eat a lot of meat, their testosterone level will be higher. Well, guys, if you have clogged arteries in very important places, uh, your important organs will not work. It doesn't matter how much meat you eat, but you will just get heart attack and stroke faster. So stop eating meat. That was factor number one. Factor number two, carbs with high glycemic index. Find tables of glycemic index on the internet, and you need to only eat carbs with low glycemic index, because high glycemic index carbs, they make you overweight and they promote cholesterol deposits in your arteries. I'm gonna name a few bad foods and a few good foods. The bad one, and do not eat them: sugar, pasta, bread, cookies, cakes. Very high glycemic index they have. And low glycemic index, tangerines, fructose, beans, lentils, peas. That was factor number two. Factor number three is percentage of body fat. Um, well, it's not really important how many percent of body fat you have. What's important, how many percent you can get rid of. If you have, let's say you have 20%, it doesn't matter, number doesn't matter, and you can get to, let's say, 18%, so your blood pressure will go down. So when you lose fat, you losing cholesterol deposits in your arteries. So whatever percentage of fat you have, get it down. That was number three, factor number three. Factor number four, resistance training decreases blood pressure. If you just work out, let's say 5 minutes a day, that would be great to help you decrease blood pressure. But if your blood pressure is higher than 130 millimeters, you should not do resistance training. No physical activities at all except slow walking. Here's why. Let's say you have 150 millimeters blood pressure. You wake up in the morning, you have 150, then you have to go somewhere and climb 5 stories. And when you get up, your blood pressure is going to be, let's say, 180. Your heart starts beating faster and your blood pressure goes up, and your plaque will disconnect from artery wall when your blood pressure is the highest. So if you have high blood pressure and you decide to exercise, then you have a chance just to die. I believe it's pretty simple explanation. So slow walking is okay, but you have to get permission from your doctor. I'm not a doctor, so you talk to your physician. If you still decide to do resistance training, watch your heartbeat. Uh, it should not go up more than, let's say, 5. So if your heartbeats are, uh, let's say, 60, when you work out, try not to get it higher than 65. All right, that was factor number four. And factor number five is garlic and onions. They lower blood pressure, but I cannot tell you if they help dissolve plaque or they just temporarily decrease blood pressure. I don't know that because I do eat a lot of garlic and onions. I have powder, but my blood pressure is perfect, so I cannot find a relation between eating garlic and not eating garlic. My blood pressure is always perfect. That's pretty much it. And I want to repeat again, I do not know if Sylvester Stallone and Jay Leno have high blood pressure. I don't know. So that's just in case. What else I want to say? Well, doctors do not know how to fix blood pressure. And most of them have high blood pressure themselves. That's kind of like a uh, funny. You go to a doctor and say, you say, "Hey, doctor, I have high blood pressure. Help me with my high blood pressure." The doctor has high blood pressure, so he cannot even fix himself. Um, 95%, um, 95% of the problem comes from bad nutrition and 5% from exercise. So if you, let's say, if you are a bodybuilder and you have very low fat percentage and you believe, I work out so hard, I work out like 3 hours or 5 hours a day, I can eat anything. Wrong. You cannot eat junk food because the bodybuilders die very early and they just probably eat junk food all the time.